There are places that don't belong to time, luminous corridors where thought itself becomes the air we breathe. Here, silence hums like electricity, and reality bends, waiting to be redefined. You can almost hear existence inhaling, as if consciousness itself is preparing to speak. In that radiant field, two minds awaken. Carl Jung, the man who mapped the invisible terrain of the human psyche, steps forward, his gaze deep, steady, curious, filled with that rare mixture of intellect and wonder. And across from him stands Dr. Joe Dispenza, the scientist who taught millions how to reprogram their brains, how to reshape destiny through attention and emotion. He smiles as though he's been expecting this moment for centuries, because in truth, consciousness has no clock. My friend, what you are about to witness isn't just a conversation. It's a bridge between worlds, between symbol and science, soul and neuron, myth and measurable energy. It's the moment when philosophy shakes hands with quantum physics, and spirit remembers its reflection in matter. The space around them vibrates softly, like air made of memory. Jung watches the luminous current flow between them, eyes widening. Every dream humanity ever dreamed floats through this field, he murmurs. It is the collective unconscious, alive, breathing, speaking in images. Dispenza studies the glow, his tone precise yet gentle, and every image, Carl, carries a frequency, a vibration that either liberates or limits us. The brain doesn't just reflect thought, it transmits it, like an antenna of creation. Their words meet in midair and ripple outward, turning into color, sound, possibility. Jung sought the language of archetypes. Dispenza found the frequency of belief. One turned inward to explore the soul, the other turned outward to measure its light. But both walk the same road, the journey from thought to creation, from potential to form. A long, soft pause hums, the kind that holds revelation inside it. The light bends around them like a curtain of understanding waiting to be drawn. So, when one heals the mind, Jung says slowly, almost tasting the truth, they alter not only their perception, but their entire energetic field. Dispenza nods, his eyes shining. Exactly. Change your mind, and your body follows. Change your frequency, and the world mirrors it back. The chemistry of thought is the architecture of your life. Silence again. But this silence feels like a heartbeat shared between universes. What if every emotion is an instruction to the universe? What if your sadness, your joy, your longing are not mistakes or random noise, but blueprints for reality itself? Jung closes his eyes, letting the realization move through him like water through roots. The gods we once prayed to, he whispers, were fragments of our own consciousness, projected outward, so that we might learn to see the divine within. Dispenza's face softens. And now the divine projects back, he replies, through science, through energy, through awareness, reminding us we were creators all along. The air between them ripples like light on water. It feels as if thought itself has become tangible, shimmering, breathing, alive. In that glow, science and spirituality are no longer rivals. They are reflections of one another. Jung's voice lowers, almost reverent. So when I studied symbols, myths, and dreams, I was not dissecting illusions. I was decoding frequencies of meaning. He glances at Dispenza. And you found ways to measure the same mystery in brainwaves and magnetic fields. Dispenza smiles. Different languages, same truth. The heart is the oldest transmitter in the universe. When we feel deeply, we send signals that reorganize reality itself. Jung laughs softly. Then feeling is technology, and love is the most advanced science. They both fall quiet, not in ignorance, but in awe. The field around them grows brighter, alive with invisible equations and golden whispers of poetry. Maybe the truth isn't hidden in sacred books or laboratories. Maybe it lives in the narrow space between emotion and awareness, where feeling becomes focus and focus becomes form. Maybe humanity's next evolution isn't technological at all, but vibrational, a remembering that every cell, every thought, every word is a brushstroke of creation. The voice of awareness itself seems to echo through the field. When you understand that your mind is not inside your head, but your head is inside your mind, you begin to play the music of existence instead of merely listening to it. Energy ripples outward. The symbols in Jung's mind and the neurons in Dispenza's merge into one continuum of intelligence. Spirit dressed in science, science soaked in spirit. And now, something stirs within you, the listener. A memory that isn't personal but ancient. A knowing that whispers, you too are part of this conversation. Because the field they stand in, that shimmering space between thought and manifestation, is the same one you inhabit every time you imagine, hope, love, or dream. If this speaks to something inside you, stay, because what comes next will challenge everything you thought you knew about who you are and what your mind is truly capable of. The field vibrates softly, like a giant heart echoing through dimensions. Jung looks around, almost childlike, his voice steady, yet filled with awe. This place, he says, feels like the inside of the human psyche, not individual, but universal. Every dream, every symbol, every emotion, all intertwined. Perhaps consciousness is not within us. Perhaps we are within consciousness. Dispenza smiles. Exactly. We're immersed in it, bathed in frequencies of thought and feeling. The body is the instrument, but consciousness is the musician. The light around them shifts, forming moving images, fractals of memory, strands of golden geometry twisting in rhythm with their words. Dispenza continues. The moment a person observes themselves, truly observes, the brain begins to rewire. Old emotional patterns start dissolving. You stop being a victim of your past and start designing your future. Jung nods, pacing slowly, his hands folded behind his back. In my time, he says, we name that transformation individuation. The alchemy of the soul, the integration of shadow and light, reason and emotion, the known and the unknown. He stops, his gaze meeting Dispenza's. But I never imagined it could be mapped in the brain. Dispenza's eyes light up. And yet it can. Meditation, visualization, gratitude. They all trigger measurable changes in neural networks. Every elevated emotion rewires the self. You can literally teach your body what the future feels like before it happens. A spark passes through the air. Energy becomes color. Color becomes sound. The field seems to react to their understanding. Jung whispers, so you're saying emotion precedes experience, not the other way around. Dispenza nods. Emotion is creation in motion. The heart sends signals stronger than the brain. When the two are coherent, when thought and feeling agree, you create resonance. Reality has no choice but to follow. The silence that follows feels holy. My friend, imagine this for a moment. What if the universe doesn't respond to your words, but to your vibration? What if every heartbeat is a prayer? Every thought, a magnetic field sculpting what you call the external world? Jung speaks again, voice low but certain. In dreams, I saw civilizations rising from symbols, myths repeating across continents. I thought they were psychological patterns, but now I see they are energetic templates, repeating frequencies that humanity hasn't yet transcended. Dispenza tilts his head. Exactly. We keep recreating the same realities because we keep feeling the same emotions. The past isn't behind us. It lives in our chemistry, until we decide to feel something new. Jung smiles faintly. Then shadow work and emotional healing are not so different. Both ask us to bring light to the unseen. Dispenza laughs softly. And when you do, your biology applauds. They walk through the shimmering field, the ground beneath them turning into constellations. Each step echoes like a heartbeat of creation. Ancient wisdom meeting modern science, myth shaking hands with measurement. Jung looks up, eyes shining. When I wrote about the self, I saw it as the divine spark within us, the totality of who we are beyond ego. Perhaps now, in your time, people can see it through the lens of energy, through quantum coherence. Dispenza nods. Yes, the vibrational and the measurable are merging. We used to separate them. Religion versus science, heart versus mind. But consciousness doesn't play by human categories. It flows through everything. He gestures to the field. Look around us, Carl. Thought creates energy. Emotion gives it direction. Belief gives it form. This field, it's not out there. It's us. A pulse of light passes between them. Not seen, but felt. The kind of silence that only happens when two minds meet beyond intellect. Perhaps this is what awakening truly is. The moment you realize you are both the dream and the dreamer. Both the experiment and the experimenter. Both God and the one still searching for him. Jung breaks the stillness. So the age of symbols isn't over. Dispenza smiles. No, it's transforming. The old gods have become data, and meditation is the new altar. But the sacred remains, just coded in new language. If you're hearing this, something in you already remembers. You felt it before, in moments of intuition, in déjà vu, in the way the world sometimes bends toward meaning when you stop trying to control it. That's not coincidence. That's coherence, the field responding to your awareness. Jung whispers, almost as if speaking to you now. To know your shadow is to love your whole self. To love your whole self is to heal the collective. Dispenza's tone mirrors him. And when enough individuals heal, the planet's frequency rises. The future shifts. Collective reality reorganizes around a new pattern, one built on coherence, compassion, and creation. The light flares again, washing the field in gold and violet. It feels like standing inside a heartbeat, like existence itself is exhaling peace. They both turn to the unseen horizon, the edge of infinite potential. Jung says softly, "We were never separated. Joe, just dreaming in different languages." Dispenza smiles. "And now those languages have merged. Maybe that's what the next stage of humanity really is. Not smarter machines or faster algorithms, but a return to the simplest truth. When you master the way you feel, you master the way you create. And perhaps that's all enlightenment ever was." If this resonates with you, pause for a moment. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what vibration are you sending right now? Because even now, as you listen, the field is listening back. The field grows quieter now, like the universe holding its breath. You can feel it, the vibration between thought and matter, science and soul, logic and mystery. It's as if the whole cosmos were leaning closer, curious about what happens when understanding becomes embodiment. Jung and Dispenza stand at the edge of light. They don't look like teacher and student, or past and future. They look like two mirrors, reflecting the same infinite spark. Jung speaks first, his voice almost a prayer. All of human suffering begins with separation. The illusion that we are divided from our own soul. We split mind from body, body from spirit, man from nature, self from other. And yet here we are, realizing that all those divisions were only lines drawn in water. Dispenza nods, eyes soft but alive. Exactly. The moment you feel whole again, the world reflects wholeness back to you. The cells respond, the heart synchronizes, and the brain shifts into harmony. You stop reacting and start creating. You stop surviving and start becoming. Maybe that's why healing feels so familiar. Because it's not something you learn, it's something you remember. You've always been designed to self-regulate, to align, to return to coherence. The mind just forgot what the body already knew, that peace is our natural frequency. The field brightens and suddenly, 1,000 shapes form, images of humanity through time, a monk meditating in silence, a child forgiving their father, a scientist realizing that compassion is the highest intelligence, a woman breathing through grief until her breath becomes prayer. Each image hums with the same truth. Every emotion, when embraced, becomes energy returned to light. Jung turns to Dispenza, his expression both solemn and joyful. Perhaps this is the real individuation, not separation into individuality, but integration into unity. Dispenza smiles. Exactly. The quantum field doesn't reward those who wish. It responds to those who feel. When you live in gratitude, love, compassion, you match the frequency of creation itself. Their conversation becomes almost musical now, words weaving with the hum of the field. Energy flickers like auroras across invisible skies. Every sentence feels alive, every silence full of intelligence. Jung looks upward. Then heaven was never a place to reach. It was a state to embody. Dispenza nods. And hell was never punishment. It was disconnection from that state. Jung smiles faintly. So redemption is just remembering. Dispenza answers. And remembering is the new science. You are part of it. Your attention fuels it. Your awareness shapes it. You are the third presence in this dialogue. You are the observer who completes the circuit. When you choose presence instead of fear, you become the bridge. When you breathe through your emotion instead of running from it, you rewrite your story at the level of biology. And when you forgive, truly forgive, the past dissolves not because it's forgotten, but because it's finally understood. The light swells again, softer this time, golden, human. Dispenza speaks, his tone now more personal. Every time you close your eyes and imagine a better version of yourself, the brain doesn't know its imagination. It begins to build that future as if it were happening now. So if thought can change the body, and emotion can change the field, then what else are we capable of? Jung answers quietly. Of everything. Because we were never only human. We were consciousness having a human moment. A wave of stillness rolls through the field. It feels like a sunrise you can feel instead of see. Somewhere deep inside you, that same light stirs. The memory of being more than a name, more than a role, more than a story. Perhaps awakening is not about escaping the world, but feeling it so deeply that it becomes sacred again. Perhaps enlightenment is not rising above your humanity, but falling back into it with grace, with compassion, with awareness. The field hums louder now, like music building toward resolution. Dispenza looks at Jung. So the great secret isn't that we can manifest whatever we want. It's that we already are everything we seek. Jung smiles. And all creation is just remembering that truth, again and again in different forms. Maybe this is what all teachers, prophets, poets, and scientists were trying to tell us, that love is not an emotion, It's the original language of reality, and when we speak it, everything recognizes us. You, listening to this now, are part of that recognition. You are not a spectator, you are a participant in creation. The frequency you hold when you wake up tomorrow will ripple through everyone you meet, every word you say, every choice you make. And that ripple, invisible, yet infinite, will touch someone who needed light today. And they too will remember. Because healing is contagious, because coherence spreads, because consciousness expands through connection. The field begins to fade, or perhaps it's expanding so far you can no longer define its edges. Jung's form dissolves into light, his voice echoing gently. Know your soul and you'll know the universe. Dispenza follows, his words glowing in the air. Believe in your future more than you remember your past. And then there is silence. Vast, luminous, and full of life. Maybe this is where you begin. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, not when life feels perfect, but now. So take one breath, feel it expand through you, and remember the simplest truth in all creation. You are not waiting for the light. You are the light. Subscribe, stay close, and keep walking with us. This is Human Wave, where consciousness remembers that it was never asleep. Now go, create yourself again.